Okay, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Could we all stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
7:35 is when we call them.
Okay. Could I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of March 24th, 2025? Moved by Kirsten. Second by Nadia. All in favor? Aye. Motion's carried. Superintendent, is there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
No additions, no deletions.
Okay. Board recognition. Jen?
I was able to attend an art show that the art club had, and it was absolutely amazing. The talent that all these kids in our district have, it's quite impressive. I love our arts program. I love how they can to use their talent to the best of their ability. And I would also like to recognize the varsity softball coach, Emily Caldwell. She is amazing. I went to and she was on it when it came down to, this is what we expect. This is what, our athletic department expects from our students. I've never experienced a parent meeting like that where she outlined what each parent should do, from when to speak to your coach and the correct chain of command. So good job there, and good job at being informative. I think she's setting a really good example for our athletic department.
Like to comment on the
Absolutely. Absolutely. First of all, thank you for the art and musical people who are here. Didn't even know you were going to be here, but I made sure that I wanted to give an overall message. I've been here for 10 months, and I really want to take a moment to celebrate the incredible artistic, musical, and academic talents of our students across the Rome City School District. The brilliance of our students is something we can all take pride in, and it shines brightly at every level, from our youngest learners to our graduating seniors. For example, on March 27th and 28th, the students at Denty wowed audiences with their phenomenal performance of James and the Giant Peach, showcasing not only their creativity, but also their commitment to the arts. Last week, our high school students lit up the stage with a 3-day run of Footloose, impressing everyone with their energy, passion, and remarkable talent. On Wednesday, April 9th, several board members, our board clerk, and I had the opportunity of attending the annual BOCES budget meeting, where dinner was thoughtfully prepared and served by students in the culinary program. Many of those students are our own, and we could not have been prouder. Their professionalism, skill, and pride in their work were truly impressive. And in addition, their teacher, Mr. Marchand, is related to one of our principals. Then, on April 11, we celebrated the graduation of our 5th grade students from the DARE program that came back at Ridge Mills. It was a proud and inspiring moment, one that reflects the strong character education and support our students receive every day. These are just a few highlights, they happen every month, among countless examples of how our students continue to excel. I'm deeply proud of the talent, determination, and heart that radiates across our district. Our students, our staff members are truly exceptional, and it is an honor to witness their growth and success. Let's continue to support and uplift them. The students are our future, and they are nothing short of extraordinary, and I am very proud to be the superintendent of Rome City Schools.
like to add to that. My family was able to go to James and the Giant Peach at Stroud, and absolutely a wonderful job. I see James here in the crowd. Great job. I just want to say, keep it up. I can tell the talent. I went a couple years ago to Finding Nemo, and just to see the progression of the whole crew, it's really great to see. And my kids love it. And my son's in kindergarten, and he's still singing the songs from that show, which is great. And I wasn't able to make Footloose, but my family got to go, and they loved that as well. So I think it's great for the community, like the superintendent said. Like, so much hard work goes into that, but it is appreciated. So keep it up.
Yeah. Public comment on agenda items? Thank you. Okay, first up, we would have Maria Kernan. Or no, Mary, I'm sorry.
No, I just want to say I'm the head of the art department of our district, and we're 27 years strong. But I just want to give a shout out for you to save the date on May 29th. That is going to be our big district art expo. It's been held, this is fourth year running at RFA. So it's going to be at RFA in the gym, pending approval, from 4:30 to 5:30. So it's going to be a bigger location. Tons of artwork. I hope to see you all there. The invitations will be coming out soon, probably right after break. You'll get your invitation. So I hope everybody can come to it. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Always good to have dates ahead of time. So thank you. And Joe Mastrangelo.
Okay. All right. Good evening. I'm a board member in the town of Lee, and over the years, residents have raised some concerns over the traffic problems at Stokes Elementary School. Technically, this is not a town problem because the road is a state highway and the problem is on Rome City School District property, both of which the town has no jurisdiction over. However, the town of Lee board takes concerns of its residents seriously. Years ago, we were able to get the speed limit reduced from 55 miles per hour to 45. We recently tried to get it reduced to 35 miles per hour, but were denied. January of this year, I drafted a letter to New York State DOT about installing a flashing 35 mile per hour school zone signs that would operate during peak times. I was able to get support from Oneida County legislator Steve DiMaggio and Senator Joe Griffo. The senator's office added a supporting letter and hand-carried both to New York State DOT. The DOT has responded and will do a traffic study, an accident history study, and personally observe traffic during peak hours. I did reach out to the superintendent of schools a few weeks ago for support, but I've yet to receive a response, which brings me here tonight. A couple of items I'd like the board to consider addressing. One, to determine why so many students don't use provided busing and how this could be remedied. Two, could the parking area be extended south along Turn Road to the cemetery? This would have little impact on the playground area. And three, it was recently brought to my attention that years ago there was a flashing sign and the school district had it removed, not New York State DOT. Why was this? Please consider what I've spoken of tonight as it has direct effect on our students, residents, and motorist safety. Thank you.
It's me again. Thanks, Carl. Some important April dates and district updates for the community. New York State testing for Rome City School District started this week. We started with the ELA at the elementary level, and we're very pleased. I know that the community may have heard of some testing issues last week, but we are very pleased to say that we have not experienced that. The good news is that a lot of districts are on vacation this week, and so it was good that we started, and all of the problems have been resolved, and the principals have reported that they had a smooth 3-day testing. So, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, would you like to add anything to that?
I I would just like to add the piece that we all know that we've been campaigning and doing a positive PR for all the families in our community to embrace the importance of testing. And we had our students doing those videos. And it is very early, but I'm very hopeful and extremely excited because the absences that we had this week were minimal. And we had the fewest opt-outs that we have had in our history so far. So it is the first 2 days of testing with ELA, and then we have math when we come back. So I'm very hopeful that we're going to be very close to the expected 95% participation rate that the state expects. And the students are very, very excited. In several of the buildings, there's positive messages on their cubbies and on their student belongings to continue to encourage them. And they're doing positive messages in the morning and at the close of testing. And the students are really excited and very proud of the work that they're doing. So that's what I would like to add.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as a reminder, tomorrow is our annual emergency go home drill that is across our district and also with Mobosi's. Students will be dismissed 15 minutes early tomorrow as part of our required emergency preparedness procedure. We know that all of the principals have communicated that to parents, and since it's coming up tomorrow, we wanted to send a reminder of that. In addition, we invite you to join us at various locations across the district and community to learn more about the 25-26 school budget. Your participation matters. We started that conversation today with community leaders, and we will be in several locations in district and also in the community. So please, if you would like to hear more about the budget or understand our process, we invite you, because we're trying to be very transparent and making sure that you are aware of where your tax dollars are going, which is towards instructing our students of this district. We are not currently, so in terms of special permission, I got to speak a little bit about that. When I came into the district, the first thing I did is sat with multiple stakeholders and constituents about some of the things that are of strength of our district and areas that requires like immediate attention. And space constraints at the elementary level was the number one issue. I've heard it at coffee chats. I continue to hear it at different conversations that I have had. And in addition, visiting buildings, I see the issue at play on a regular basis. And for that reason, myself and the team, we have collected various data points. We are trying to synthesize those data points to determine the best course of action. As a community, you all know that we have some long-term vision in terms of being able to repair, renovate, or add to a particular building so that we can remove the constraints that we have. However, it's not going to happen overnight, and therefore there are some things that need to change. The first thing that really needs to change is the fact that the board has a policy about special permission that is well written, that is very well articulated, and it clearly states that when we have space, there are some things that they are giving us the latitude to do. However, when we don't have space, that's where we need to take a pause. And at this time, for the 25-26 school year, what I'm asking the community to do is to pause for a moment before sending us any special permission request. We started receiving them. We have received at least 5 that I saw so far, and it's for students who just registered for kindergarten, where parents are asking to be able to just move from their attendance area to another school. So I would ask for the time being that we take a pause on that until further notice, until the team and I really take a look deeper at that data during the break to review it to make sure, and then being able to come to this table and ask the board to take some particular action that may be required, may or may not be required, in order to at least alleviate some specific issues that are happening currently at the elementary level. And so please, it's not a no, it's please let's take a pause for now until further notice. In terms of strategic planning, we have a community design day that is scheduled for you. At first, we had indicated that it was going to happen on May 10, but after review of the calendar, we realized that on May 11 is Mother's Day, and so it is best for us that we shifted the time frame. So now, save the date, Saturday, May 17, 2025. We talked about this is the last opportunity for the entire community. If you want to have a voice in terms of shaping the future of our district and where you want to see us, this is the time to participate. It is still going to take place at RFA. We will serve breakfast beginning at 8 o'clock. We will start at exactly 8:30. Again, we're inviting you to be engaged. Some of you engaged through the survey. Others of you have participated in focus groups. Some folks are part of the steering committee that has been meeting now at least 4 to 5 times. And so now this is the last chance, the Community Design Day, so that in June, we can have the complete strategic planning document here to the board for them to adopt so that we can start doing our work this summer to flesh out on a year-to-year basis. How do we meet those goals and priorities? So you are invited. Your voice matters. I've always said that. Come share your ideas and help design the next chapter of our district. And lastly, I always talk about what's in April. There's a lot of educational observances and religious observances in April. And because we are a district that really prides ourselves on inclusivity and bringing people in and not calling them out, we want to make sure that you are aware. Natural Poetry Month, School Library Month, Math and Statistics Awareness, Autism just occurred, Financial Literacy, National Assistant Principals Week, Earth Day, Administrative Professional Days. Now, administrative professionals are the most important people in the school district because they can tell you what's going on. And so please remember to celebrate them as well as it's coming up on April 23rd before we go on break. If we can do that, that would be great. And of course, April is also a lot of religious observances. Ramadan, Eid al-Fitr, Good Friday, Easter Sunday, Passover, whatever you celebrate, we want to celebrate with you because we are an inclusive school district. And that is the end of my report, if you have any questions.
Thank you very much. And we will move on to the student board member report.
RFA's Advanced Ceramics has visiting artist Lauren Nels coming tomorrow for their annual Raku workshop. Students will fire pottery, then take them out of the kiln at 1,800 degrees and expose them to combustible materials. It's happening 8 to 2 and visitors are welcome. As long as we're talking about art, the musical went so good and we had 3 performances, but sadly it's over. But in much happier news, Rhapsody has one last show on May 4th at the Rome Capitol Theater.
The 8th graders have been coming to tour the high school. We have a freshman and senior panel, and we just give them tips and tell them about our experiences to hopefully help them. There will be senior packets sent out tomorrow with all senior information about ball, graduation, grad walk, and senior celebration. RFA senior science students participated in the Envirothon at the Utica Zoo today. RFA won first place overall over several participating schools. They will move forward onto state qualifiers. The first place team members are Aiden Winters, Rachel Catello, Carl Van Hoosel, Caden Secor, Molly Comley. And the club is ran by Brian Buchanan.
Your year is going by really fast. Okay, we're moving on to the consent agenda. Can I have a resolution to accept the consent agenda? Move. Second? Second by Nadia.
I would like to recuse myself from this whole personal
Okay.
relationship.
Okay, Kirsten has removed herself. So can I have we had a motion, and all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Consent agenda passes. Moving on to Finance, regular meeting. Okay, our action items. Resolution to approve the BOCES administrative budget for 25-26. Resolved, the Rome City School District approves the 25-26 tentative administrative budget of the Madison United Board of Cooperative Educational Services in the amount of $7,495,365, funded by $1,287,306 in expense by components plus $6,208,059 in earned interest and other miscellaneous revenue, and shall so allocate as a contingent expense its share of said administrative budget as appropriated in accordance with Section 1950 of the New York State Education Law. The 2024-2025 administrative budget expense for all components was $1,240,840. The 2025-2026 administrative budget expense for all components is estimated at $1,287,306 for a change of 3.7%. I move the resolution. Okay, seconded by Kirsten. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution, go ahead, Jen.
Resolution for appointment of election inspectors, assistant poll clerks. Resolved that the following individuals are appointed as election inspectors, assistant poll clerks for the 10 school election districts, which shall align with the City of Rome election wards. Be appointed for the Rome City School District Board of Education election budget vote to be held on Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, or on any legally authorized date thereafter, and that they be paid for this service, with the superintendent of schools or their designee being authorized to fill any vacancies and make location assignments. The names are as shown on page 12 of the agenda. I move the resolution.
And I would like to excuse myself from this vote because I am working that day. So, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution 3, resolution to adopt the property tax report card for the 2025-2026 school year. Resolved that the Board of Education adopts the property tax report card for the 2025-2026 school year. I move the resolution. Okay, second by Jen. All in favor? Aye. Motion's carried. Resolution to adopt the 2025-2026 budget. Whereas the Board of Education of the Rome City School District has developed a proposed budget for the operations of the school district for the 2025-2026 school year. And whereas the total amount of the proposed budget developed for the 25-26 school year is $160,533,458. And whereas attached to the 25-26 proposed budget is the school district's property tax report card for the 25-26 school year. And whereas the budget hearing on the proposed budget is scheduled for May 12th, 2025, and whereas the annual meeting to vote upon the proposed budget is scheduled for Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, now therefore be it resolved that the board hereby approves the proposed budget developed for the 25-26 school year in the amount of $160,533,458, along with the property tax report card attached thereto. And be it further resolved that the following proposition be placed before the voters on Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. Shall the Board of Education of the Rome City School District be authorized to expend the amount of $160,533,458, no cents, as a general fund appropriation for the 25-26 school year, and to levy the necessary tax therefore upon the taxable property of the district. I move the resolution. Second by Jen. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution 5, resolution to accept funds from Utica National Insurance Company. Whereas the Rome City School District has been awarded the School Safety Excellence Award Titanium level by Utica National Insurance Company for the 5th consecutive year, and whereas the prestigious recognition reflects the district's ongoing commitment to maintaining a safe and secure learning environment for all students and staff. And whereas as part of this award, the district has received a monetary contribution in the amount of $500 from Utica National Insurance Company. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Rome City School District hereby accepts the $500 award from Utica National Insurance Company with gratitude, and be it further resolved that the board extends its appreciation to the administration, staff, and all those involved in supporting school safety efforts that lead to this recognition. I move the resolution. Second by Nadia. All in favor? Motion's carried. And the Finance Committee's Audit Committee meeting, the next one will be May 15th, 2025 at 3 o'clock. The next Finance Committee meeting is June 5th at 3:30 p.m. We did hold a Audit Committee meeting last week on the 10th, and we just reviewed the initial steps for our audit that will be occurring by D'Arcangelo, and also an internal claims audit that we are having held, which the results I believe will be available in May. Our Finance Committee meeting that we had on the 3rd of April, we discussed again the budget. We went through, and I would say that the Finance Committee really felt strongly that the budget was well prepared and very transparent coming forward to us, and really meets the academic rigor of what we have all described for ourselves as a goal for us all. Other than that, I think, do you have anything else, Nadia? Kelly? No? So that finishes the Finance Committee report. We'll move on to educational programs. Action item, resolution to adopt the 25-26 school calendar. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the school calendar for the 25-26 school year. I move the resolution. Seconded by Paula. All in favor? Aye. Motion's carried. Resolution to approve the RFA staff's overnight field trip. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the RFA staff's field trip to Virginia and Washington, D.C. to depart on May 30th, 2025 and return on June 1st, 2025 under the coordination of Amanda Benoit. I move the resolution. Seconded by Jen. All in favor?
What's that?
Staff.
Student.
Is
Something,
It's the student council.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Pop quiz. Yeah,
So,
okay.
yeah, they carry the name staff, but in other districts, it's student council. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get it for you. Sorry.
Okay. I'm not sure. Do we continue? Was all in favor? Aye. Motion's carried. Okay. Okay, Kelly.
Action item number 1, resolution to accept retirement. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby accepts with appreciation for your years of service the retirement of the following individual. Mia Cushman, food service helper, Rome Free Academy, effective 9/1/2025. Mary Carmel Detour, teacher assistant, Rome Free Academy, effective 9/5/2025. I move the resolution.
Second by Nadia. All in favor? Aye. Motion's carried.
Action item number 2, resolution to approve administrative leave. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, that a permanent non-instructional employee be placed on a paid administrative leave retroactive to April 4th, 2025 and effective until April 16th, 2025. The superintendent is authorized to return the employee to active duty at her discretion. I move the resolution.
Second by Paula. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion's carried.
Resolution number 3, to accept affiliation agreement. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby accepts the affiliation agreement between the school district and State University of New York, Potsdam. I move the resolution.
Second by Nadia. All in favor? Motion's carried.
Action item number 4, resolution to accept memorandum of agreement. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby accepts the affiliation agreement between the school district and CSEA clerical unit. I move the resolution.
Second.
Seconded by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Action item number 5, resolution to accept retroactive pay. Whereas the Rome City School District Board of Education recognizes the importance of fair compensation for its employees, and whereas Dixie Enos, elementary teacher, has provided valuable service to our district, and whereas an audit of payroll records indicates that Dixie Enos is entitled to retroactive pay for the fiscal years of 2015 through 2024 in the amount of $5,206 for an inaccurate calculation of credit hours. And whereas it is essential to ensure that Dixie Enos' salary is adjusted retroactively to the new salary rate of $69,936 effective July 1st, 2024, which includes master's degree. And now therefore be it resolved that the Rome City School District Board of Education hereby approves the payment of $5,206 in retroactive pay to Dixie Enos for the prior fiscal years, and be it further resolved that the new salary rate for Dixie Enos be effective retroactively from July 1st, 2024 at the salary rate of $69,936. I move the resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Sorry.
John. Yeah, motion's carried. Policy.
Action item number 1, resolution to accept the first reading of policies. Resolves that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby approved the first reading of the following policies as listed on page 17 of the agenda. I move to resolution.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a discussion about the policy number 4321.07. The language changing from his, her to their.
So at the last policy meeting, I wasn't there, so I'm not sure what the,
You want to?
Changing the language from his and her to their, it's inclusive of all individuals.
doesn't his and her include everybody?
Well, it does include everybody, but it's not, it's
Neutral.
neutral. Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
I disagree with that, but that's all I can say.
Was that in the first policy read, the there?
This is the first reading.
Oh,
Yeah,
this is.
This
not
is the first
second.
reading.
Okay.
So
Okay. So where are we on their vote?
So if you want to, so what you can do, if there's no other discussion about the other policies, we can move that to second read. And if you want to take a look at it back, the 4321, again, if you want that to be reviewed and to have a discussion at policy, we can review that and remove that and send it back to policy. So that's how you can do that. You can separate the two.
So was that what was advised by? Was it changed, like we changed that, or was that what was the change advised by?
Yeah.
NISBA?
That's a very good
NISBA.
question. In general, as you know, our state education department is trying to keep everything gender neutral. And so most of our policies, we try to write them to be very gender neutral.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So we can go ahead, what you can do is go ahead and approve everything other than 432107. We
Okay.
will remove that.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
and then vote to
Right.
send 40.
So can I have a motion to remove 432107
I just
from the
wanna-
first read?
Can I just add
Sure.
something? So just moving forward, whatever we vote upon with this, then it should carry through to all of our policies. So I think that's really important because I don't want to go through this and miss something. So we need to be consistent with this and all come together, whatever is decided is what's decided, and then move forward with all of our policies. I think that's important.
So was that a recommendation or a requirement of the?
It's not a requirement, but it's just better to keep everything gender neutral, especially, again, in light of the fact that we're trying to be all-inclusive. As you know, that is part of the state, not a requirement, but that is a goal to keep everything neutral. And it's the same thing when you write in policies about a superintendent. You don't know if it's going to be a his or her. You might just leave it neutral with superintendent because it might be a her, it might be a him. And so the best way we would recommend is to keep those pronouns neutral.
To that point, I think we did something similar when we did the job posting for the superintendent position. There was language that specifically said him, and we changed it. To Jeff's point, his, her, their, to me, it all means all people. So I don't really see an issue either way. I think we need to just be consistent, like Kelly said.
Yeah.
So by removing this one policy from the first read, we can have a further discussion as a board down the road. So I need to have a motion then to remove 432107
And send it
from
back
the
to
first
policy.
read.
So moved.
Okay, have a second? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, so 4321 will be removed. So now we need to have a motion.
Let me just add to send back to policy for further discussion, because in
Right.
reviewing all of our policies, we've been staying gender neutral. And so it has followed that consistency of practice that we've been doing even from the other policies. So,
Okay,
So all the other,
yeah, have been gender neutral, the ones that you've approved
this
before.
one just is not.
No, this one.
This one is, but what she's saying is that she disagrees. She wants the his or her to be included. So that's why it's going back to policy for further discussion.
All other ones that have already been adopted this year is neutral with
Is gender neutral.
theirs.
Ah.
so we'll continue with that, but now we need a motion to go ahead and,
Approve the other ones?
yeah, for
Yeah.
everything else.
Okay. So have a motion to approve all the first reads except 4321.07.
It's 0.07, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
0.07, yeah.
So moved.
Second, and is there a second? Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah, thank you.
Aye, okay. That one's carried.
Okay, good. All right. Let's go on to action item number 2. Resolution to accept the second reading and adoption of policies. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the second reading and adoption of the following policies as detailed on page 17 of the agenda. I move to resolution.
Second by John. All
Any
in fa-
discussion?
Well, it goes back to what we just said. If we're approving them now, we're saying that the language. So, I mean, I don't know how that works, Sue, but
All other ones that we've adopted this year has the they there. It's the gender neutral version of all the other policies that we've adopted this year to include these that we're trying to adopt. So everything that we've already approved as a board is gender neutral.
I'm just looking through my policies real quick. If
For
you want me
admissions?
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, you're policy committee chair?
I've heard that, yeah.
I mean, I have to agree, like we said, it has to be across the board. We can't just change one
Yeah.
and not change the rest. I mean, that just, to me, would be, and I
My
see-
recommendation is the gender neutral.
Right, and at this point, Paula, I do see
Yeah.
your
I
point.
never noticed it in any of the
But my
other
point to that
policies.
is, within that said, if we've already accepted
Approved.
it and approved them before, why are we gonna go, now we're gonna have to go back and do all of them to be the same, which, again, I'm not saying you're wrong, and I disagree with you. We didn't do it then, and if it's that way, now and going forward, and we won't have to change everything, I can't imagine removing one to look at.
Well, we just sent it back to the committee for them to look at it.
Right.
And then they will bring it back forward. So
Then
at
we
this,
have to do it with us.
We're going to have a discussion about that particular policy in light of the fact that a board member brought up a conversation. We're going to talk about it holistically. And in addition, they will hear my recommendation because, again, we live in a state that is very inclusive. So the more that you can leave things gender, it still says the same thing. You leave it gender neutral. It doesn't change the content. That's the focus. And so we need to have that conversation at policy because that's where the conversation needs to happen. Of course, keep the rest of the board abreast, and then we can come back and bring this back. And if everybody agrees that, as we have been doing it, keep it consistent, we'll make sure we give you that information during your Friday weekly, And then we come back and bring back this policy for first read.
As far as the second read ones, we don't even know if any of them have that language right specifically stated in it because they're school admissions regulation, admission of resident students. So you really don't know what terminology is listed within them.
I do.
Well, I know you do, so
Yeah.
you're looking at
So
them.
I looked at it, yeah, so I did, so one of the 51, I think it was 5150 or 5151 had the there and there. So that was in there.
There.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I mean, I guess Paula has the right to vote no, right? So we can still move ahead with it and she could vote no, right? So it's not, okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'll go forward with the second read
Yeah.
approval. So we had a motion and a second. So all in favor of the second read of policies listed? Aye. Any opposed? Motion's carried.
And our next policy meeting is April 30th at 4:15.
Okay. Is there any committee report? Other than,
Committee report.
is there anything you want to add to your committee report? Yeah.
No.
All right. Moving on to miscellaneous business, Jen's going to read these.
1, resolution for renewal of participation in summer food service program, FSSP. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education authorizes renewal of the district's participation in the summer food service program from June 30th, 2025 to August 22nd, 2025. I move the resolution.
Second by Nadia. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion's carried.
2, resolution to elect member of the BOCES Board. The Rome City School District Board of Education authorizes the clerk to submit and certify its ballot in the name of Sally Sherwood of the Camden Central School District to serve as a member of the Madison Oneida Board of Cooperative Education Services of the Sole Supervisory District of Madison and Oneida Counties for the term of July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2028 for the seat currently held by Mrs. Sally Sherwood, Camden, New York. The ballot will be submitted to the clerk of the Madison Oneida BOCES on April 17, 2025. I move the resolution.
Second by John. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion's carried.
3, resolution to elect member of the BOCES Board. Resolved, the Rome City School District Board of Education authorizes the clerk to submit and certify its ballot in the name of Dr. John Costello, Sr. of the Oneida City School to serve as a member of the Madison Oneida Board of Cooperative Education Services of the Sole Supervisory District of Madison and Oneida Counties for the term of July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2028 for the seat currently held by Dr. John Costello, Sr., Oneida, New York. The ballot will be submitted to the clerk of the Madison Oneida BOCES on April 17, 2025. I move the resolution.
Second by Nadia. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion's carried.
4, resolution to elect member of the BOCES Board. Resolved, the Rome City School District authorizes the clerk to submit and certify its ballot in the name of Susan Carvelli of the Rome City School District to serve as member of the Madison Oneida Board of Cooperative Education Services of the Sole Supervisory District of Madison and Oneida Counties for the term of July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2028 for the seat currently held by Mrs. Susan Carvelli, Rome, New York. The ballot will be submitted to the clerk of the Madison Oneida BOCES on April 17th, 2025. I move the resolution.
Seconded by Paula. I abstain from the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
One abstention. I abstain. Motion's carried. The last one, resolution to approve the terms for data privacy agreements. Whereas for BOCES, Onondaga County, Madison BOCES, Albany, Shenango, Schenectady, Saratoga BOCES, Madison and Oneida BOCES, and Broome, Tioga BOCES have collaborated and entered into an Article 5 General Municipal Law intermunicipal agreement for the purposes of improving vendor management and data security and privacy practices for school districts and/or BOCES statewide, known as the RIC 1 Risk Operations Center, the ROC. Whereas the Board of Education of the Rome City School District, through its affiliation with the locally based Regional Information Center, participates with the ROC and desires for the 2024-2025 fiscal year to authorize the ROC to enter into data privacy agreements and related exhibits, DPAs, with vendors and third-party contractors that include the requirements of and compliance with New York State Education Law Section 2D and Part 121 regulations, collectively Ed Law 2D, related to student personally identifiable information, PII, and certain teacher and principal APPR data, whereas the ROC also partners with NYSED, the Access for Learning Student Data Privacy Consortium, SDPC, and the Education Cooperative, TEC, to negotiate and approve Ed Law 2-D compliant DPAs, whereas the DPAs are presented to school districts and/or BOCES for final execution and do not require the expenditure of funds beyond those budgeted. And be it resolved, Board of Education of the Rome City School District authorizes the attorneys designated by the ROC to negotiate and approve of DPAs for software and/or technology resources. And be it further resolved, the Rome City School District Board of Education grants the ROC and his designated attorneys the authority to negotiate the terms and conditions of DPAs and take such actions so as to effectuate the purpose and intent of this resolution. I move the resolution. Second by John. All in favor? Aye. Motion's carried. Discussion items, upcoming events. We have the Budget Community Forums on April 16th, today, with our community leaders. May 5th at Lee Town Hall at 5:30. May 6th at 5:30 at Bellamy Elementary School. May 7th at 5:30 at Jervis Public Library. May 8th at 5:30 at Connected Community Schools. May 9th, 2025, 6 to 7:30, we have a board focus group with the ILL group. And mid-May 2025, we are going to have a Meet the Candidates night for individuals looking to be another member of our board. A date to be determined. May 17th from 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. is the Strategic Planning Community Design Day that Nerlon spoke about previously. May 21st, 5 p.m., 10-year reception at the district office. And June 9th, 2025, 5:30 p.m. is a retirement dinner at the beaches.
And the art exhibit, the art expo.
At the Art Expo that we were just spoken to about. Yes. May 29th.
Yep.
We have no old business, and it is now anticipated that we will have a motion, which I will need to go into executive session to discuss collective negotiations. We will not be returning to open session after the meeting. Moved by Kirsten, seconded by John. All in favor? Aye. Motion's carried. Thank you, everyone, for having a good night.